Let's start with the Temu items. I picked up this 3-tier shelf that's made out of wood. This would work well in a bathroom as a plant stand, but I got it to use in a bake shop I plan to make. It's extra nice because it actually has a functioning drawer. So this is made out of pretty thin wood, so you could replicate this with some popsicle sticks, tongue depressors, whatever kind of wood you have. But I would definitely rather just buy something like this, especially with a functioning drawer. This would take some time and planning to make. So all I plan to do is just sand this up because there are some areas that could use a little bit of sanding. Add some color with some stain and fill this with packaged baked goods for sale. So I have a nice little collection of silicone molds. I bought this new one, which is kind of like a trinket dish or a candy dish. You can kind of see the shape through it with some fluted sides. This makes the lid and the base, and you would use UV resin in this. I'll open this and be right back. A few times in life, I have found myself needing to either trace or cut small circles, so I bought a cheap set of circle cutters. These are essentially just steel tubes. I work in 112 or smaller, so these tiny tubes might come in handy if they actually work, so let's find out. I didn't condition it very much, but I roughly rolled out some medium Sculpey. This would be a good size cutter if you're making a cake. I've seen people make little tiered miniature cakes for 112 scale. I do plan to make a bakery, so that could come in handy. It's a good start because my largest of my small ones did not get the clay stuck inside of it, and neither did the tiniest one. I was worried that the tube itself would just pick up the clay, so I think it's good that it actually stamps a circle and it stays. You can just peel the extra clay off, and I have 3 really nice little circles. So I would say that's a success. You could make like petit fours with these. The smaller ones would be really cute, little chocolates. Just imagine them painted up and glazed. I'm pretty excited about these. I will definitely use these. I need to show you this clay I got at Goodwill by the pound while we're at it. I paid $2 a pound for these items. This is one of those squeezy tube things. I forget what the hell they're called, but it doesn't have the circle part that actually attaches the different heads, so that kind of stinks. I mostly wanted these canes. These are unbaked polymer clay pieces that have the same pattern throughout the entire cane. They can be pinched and stretched to be smaller. For these particular leaf canes, I'd love to cut them into slices and actually make miniature plants. And I can start with larger leaves and pinch them into smaller leaves so there's variation. I've seen someone make a cane. This must have taken a ton of time. I also have this funky flower and this miniature face, which is so impressive. I guess I'm feeling pretty creative because I would make a set of plates with this maybe, or just use it as a doll face. I'm not sure what I would do with this one, but it's still cool. Love it. Maybe it's because I was just watching Beetlejuice. I was just watching Bentley House Minis and a Beetlejuice project, but this one really reminds me of that because of all of these black and white stripes. All I can think of are plates, so let me know if you have ideas of what I could do with these in miniature. So again, I got these at Goodwill by the pound, where you pay by the pound for items, so it probably cost me about $1 for all of these canes. I've gotten a lot of miniatures there, craft supplies, home decor, there's clothing, books. See if you have one near you. Okay, so back to my Temu haul. I got some more nail art decor. Some of the things I've gotten are stickers, and some are water slide decals. It can be hard to tell because they're very thin, but if I take my craft knife and I can lift this very, very tiny edge, and this is a sticker. With the water slide decals, you need to apply them with water. These are meant for your fingernails, but I never use them like that. Well, I do sometimes, but something I've used these for lately. I don't know if you guys have seen the video, but I made these popsicle stick birdhouses and covered them with nail art decor I got from Temu. Just adds a lot of nice decoration with very minimal effort. Probably from afar it looks a little bit hand painted, adds some nice texture. I impulsively bought these dry flowers, so now I need to figure out what to do with these as well in miniatures, so give me some ideas. Now stuff I got at Earth and Tree Miniatures in Amherst, New Hampshire. This cabinet is missing a little knob, but it is very nicely handmade and signed from March of '88. I called it a cabinet, but it's actually a wardrobe / closet type of thing with 2 working drawers. I can easily replace the missing handle. I could use one of the handles on the drawers on the inside or just replace both of them on the outside. Maybe this basic $1 clipboard will end up in the Harry Potter common room, or I'm not sure. I'll use it somewhere. This is a handmade wooden potbelly wood stove. This was only $2. Super cute, one-of-a-kind handmade item. I'm not sure if this is 1/12 scale. I'm sure these wood stoves vary, so this could work in all kinds of scales, but imagine trying to put a log in this little guy. I would normally leave vintage pieces, but this is unsigned, so I would modify it by making it more realistic. Paint it black so it's not wood. Add a little door so you actually have a place you can add some logs. Use some egg cartons to make a faux stone hearth and backsplash. Here's another vintage artisan piece I got from Earth and Tree Miniatures on the sales table. This one was made in 1982 and cost $10. These two drawers on the bottom actually do work and function very well. They're lined with this really pretty paper. I could hear something clanging around. I forgot that I put this inside of here, but the inside is also lined. I have tried to make a trunk or repair a trunk, and it's hard to get the lid to close nicely, so this is very well done. I will not be modifying this vintage piece. I paid $1 for this little plastic birdhouse with a gold tone. Looking at it now, I can see that it has a seam, and I don't know if it's supposed to open, but I just did. You can see the little bird inside. Now that I know this opens, maybe I will rehome the bird and put some kind of magical creature inside for the Harry Potter common room project. I always have a plan for stuff and act like I'll use it someday, but maybe I'm just hoarding miniatures and trying to justify it. I'll open these up, but I also bought this little tea set for $12. It's made of resin. I'm a pretty frugal person, so $12 for something like this is a lot for me personally to spend, but I saw a few examples of these that were hand painted and they look so pretty. I'll give these a little makeover and it'll be fun hand painting them. I'm thinking either Christmas colors or Halloween. This is the little light that was rolling around inside of the handmade trunk earlier. I got this for $1, which is a great price. It's made of brass and glass. It doesn't light up, but I could try to add a light to it using Evan Designs LED light kits or something like that. Or even just put a fairy light on the wall and make it look like it's lit up. If you have a light bulb behind it, has a little bit of glue remnants, which I'm picking off. For simplicity's sake, I would probably just use this as an unlit light to add some quick detail to an area so I don't have to hand make something. Here's another $1 find. This is a mahogany looking wooden clock. It has some acrylic on the front. The acrylic or plastic glass is a little bit warped, so it might be nice to replace that or completely remove the components of the clock and maybe make a miniature diorama inside. I could make a tiny clock shop inside of this clock. Mahogany is my least favorite wood tone, but I also don't like sanding and restaining, so I would probably paint it. This is a piece I'd like to redo soon, so let me know what you think about the clock shop idea. I have miniature gears and watch parts from when I did the steampunk diorama collaboration with Whitney LaBrie, so I think it would be cool to use those inside of it. Here is my first miniature ship. Actually, maybe I do own another one of these, I'm not sure, but this is another purchase from Earth and Tree Miniature sale table. It's $4. It's really an incredible price because look at all of the little tiny pieces. It must have taken a lot of time and effort to make this. The whole ship itself is hand painted with all of these bright colors. I don't have any projects I could use a ship in right now, but I almost feel like anything could go in the Harry Potter common room. It'll be a very tall room, so maybe I could put this up near the ceiling or something, like a little magical ship floating. I would possibly want to repaint it. I'm not sure. Would it be wrong to repaint this? It is one of a kind. This is another item from the sales table. This costs $3. It's made from wood and it's hand painted in this kind of interesting brown lacquer type of finish that's pretty shiny. I would really love to understand what happened here because there are pieces of wood that have this cut out and the drawer is covering it. So there's no practical reason you would need to take the time and effort to cut this out and then cover it with a drawer. So I'm wondering if maybe this piece of wood already had these holes and they used the drawers to cover them up. I always suggest signing and dating your handmade miniatures so people who find them later can get a bit more information about them. Now we're checking out my miniatures I got from miniatures.com. Apparently the website closed, the people retired. I'm not 100% sure what happened, but there was a bunch of stuff on sale, so I bought these half-scale stairs. These are half the size of 1/12 scale stairs. I plan to turn these stairs into a shallow shadow box for the wall and, make the railing and banister and all that maybe decorated for Christmas. Put some carpeting on the stairs themselves and decorate the space under the stairs. I think I'll do 2 of them, one Halloween and one Christmas. I am really kicking myself in the ass for only buying one of these, but these are real clay bricks. The stairs cost $4 and these cost $4 as well, so I really should have just picked up 2 of them. So just like real life mosaic or tiny scale tiles, these are placed on a mesh backer to keep them all in line. There is space in between each of the tile that you can add grout to. The backing material itself seems like it's just toile or whatever type of, I don't even know, whatever veils are made out of seems to be the backer. I think these are too thick to use on a countertop or as a backsplash in miniature, but they could be used on a floor or a wall. It's very flexible, so this could actually be wrapped around a tower as well. I would love to hear your ideas for what I should use these for. I'm not sure I could use them very effectively for a floor since I only bought the one piece, and a second piece would make it like a nice sized room, but maybe I can cut the bottom off and just make this wider. I got to the miniatures.com sale right at the end when there wasn't too much left, so I ended up buying more half-scale stuff, which seemed to be pretty much what was left. I got this half-scale door and some half-scale windows. The thought process here is another shallow box that could be hung on the wall, maybe with some stairs out front, some hedges. Again, could be decorated for Christmas, like a wreath on the front door. I just really like wall decor that shows off Dollhouse Miniatures. These are kind of fancy and Victorian looking, so they could also be decorated kind of like an old haunted house. I had an idea at the time, but I don't know why I bought this one, honestly. I think it's because it was cheap and there wasn't too much to buy and I wanted free shipping, so not sure what I'll do with this one. I should have bought more of the clay patio bricks. These are some 112 scale items I got, some house numbers for the outside and a mail slot. I have a lot of Dollhouse miniature hardware I got in lots over the years, but I didn't have any of these, so I thought I would pick these up for less than $2 each set. I don't remember 100% what I paid for things. I do know I paid $2 a pair for these miniature louvered shutters, which are large 112 scale shutters. I thought I could make a screen, like a room divider with them. Have you guys also seen the country decor where it's shutters side by side and there's a shelf across here with little corbels and you can display things on the shelf? They could also be used as actual shutters on windows. Let me know if you guys think of anything I could do with these. I have 6 of them. And there are 2 in each package, so I actually have 12 of these. From Bentley House Minis, I have the fancy chair kit and the comfy chair kit. You might remember these chairs that Ara made for me when we did our collaboration. Ara made these one-of-a-kind chairs for me and signed them. So the kits that she created are based on these 2 chairs, so they do differ. These particular chairs go to my Harry Potter common room project. From the kit instructions, you can see this is the comfy chair. This is the fancy chair that has layers of mat board that look like wood and has nice open sides. I think this looks vintage and modern at the same time, and the vibe really changes depending on the fabric. This is the medium frames set, which are 3D printed frames. Comes with 4 frames in a kit. So the Gryffindor common room will have a bunch of portraits hanging on the wall, so that will be good for that project. These are the larger frames, another set of 4. Making frames isn't too difficult, but the best part of making frames is adding the details, so it's nice to have this nice flat surface to start with, because some of these have a bit of detail on them, so there wouldn't be much work involved, but this one in particular has a nice flat face that you could do a lot with. Ara sent me the frames in the chair kits because of our collaboration. The rest of these kits from Bentley House Minis are kits I purchased. I got this Polaroid camera kit so I can adapt it and make it look like the old camera that Colin Creevey uses in the Harry Potter movie. I would be making this camera piece look old by adding a giant flash bulb and some vintage textures. These are really thin Polaroid type frames, so I could either print something off or frame magazine photos. I also have the attic trunk kit. This is another piece I got for the Harry Potter common room project. I think this would be fun to make look very old and filled with magical stuff. I bought the lock and keys kit to either use with the trunk or to just attach to some chains in the common room. So each of these 3 different designs is a different lock, and you glue the layers together. It's cool because the keys go inside of the holes. This is the filing cabinet kit, which would have been really cool to add to my miniature lab inside of a book project. I love the folders it comes with. It's the small details. I picked up this kit for 15 miscellaneous sized boxes. There are tutorials online for how to make boxes, but I don't want to do that. It would take a lot of time, and it also comes with this cool stencil, little recycling, some arrows. I'll show you this without the paper on the back. This stencil is laser cut out of some kind of thin plastic, and I could keep reusing this, so it's pretty cool. I've been collecting things to make a hoarded basement, so I'll definitely use some of the boxes down there. And these are just great to have in general as fillers. Just add some texture and realism. Like I said, I have plans to make a little bake shop, so these baking items would look really cool in there. These are printed on a filament printer, and these 3 different size cake stands come with separate bottoms. This probably just makes it less likely for them to break while they're shipping, and it's probably also easier to print. Although I can't help but think I could reuse these in some way or remake them. Maybe as a table pedestal, I'm not really sure, but these will probably end up in the bake shop with little cakes sitting on top of them. I have some vintage kitchen appliances I've never shown you, so this set of 3 canisters could end up in a diorama with those pieces someday. This same exact kit also includes these 2 cutting boards and 2 muffin pans. There are 10 pieces in this kit. I was initially planning to make some air dry clay muffins or cupcakes, but look how cute these look stacked. So now I think I might just paint these up and put them in a kitchen. Ayra also sells the book she made based on her cardboard dollhouse. If you'd like, she'll sign the book and address it to somebody. The story itself is so cute, and the illustrations are very colorful and graphic. I really love the artistry inside of it. I bought this for my friend's child who's only 1 year old, but I have not given it to her yet because she's still at that stage where she tries to pull books out of your hand and will rip the pages, so she can wait a little bit longer before she gets this book because I do not want her ripping out the pages. I bought 2 of these miniature book kits, which come with small, a large, and medium-sized mat board pages. I recently assembled one of these kits into 28 books, I believe. You can watch that video right here to see how I finished those books.